I really appreciate those words. I want to thank you for creative thought, for this initiative. This is actually something really, really, really beautiful. Trust me, something really, really beautiful. Adejuwon Zuneji, I call him the energy god. Is like he said, I met him on Instagram and things like that were able to click. You understand? I think I bought the course from him. He was selling something then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after I course,
Yeah.
and I bought the course, and I didn't even buy it. I just got people to buy it. Yes, I got people from my community to buy it.
I think I was
And
just
he gave me the
inspired by
course
your
for free.
move. I think I was
Yeah, and he gave
basically
me the course
inspired
for
by
free.
your move. Yeah, this zeal. I was basically just inspired by that.
Yeah, and I was really really moved, and thank you very much. And since then, we've been really really good friends. And just earlier this week, he called me up and was like, "Would I be free this weekend to share something with his community?" And I couldn't refuse. Regardless, I could not refuse. You've been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful colleague and friend. Thank you very much, sir.
And thank you
Okay,
for your kind
okay.
words.
So this guy you're seeing here is my name is Rema, Oyeh Rema, and okay, I think let me just share my screen. I think you should be tired of seeing my face already. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, yeah. So who is this guy in front of you? Okay, so basically I'm just okay. Let me just put it this way. I started designing 2018. Yes, sometime in 2018, and late. That was after I finished school, after my graduation, and I was just looking for something to do. You get? I just wanted to do something. You get? So I started selling jewelry then, or selling watches and stuff online. I really knew nothing. I just wanted to just do something. You get? It wasn't really my thing. So that was when I learned you could actually. I went for my NYSC in the north, returned, relocated to Ibadan, and it was just one of those things I was doing. Really, this was 2019 now. It was just one of those things I was doing because I was even ashamed to call myself a designer. You get like somebody be like, "Are you a graphic designer?" I said, "No, it's just something I'm doing for the person." When I finish NYSC, uh, Zenith Bank will come and carry me, and I'll now start working with them or something like that. That never happened. So it was during the pandemic. It was during the pandemic break because it was immediately after my NYSC. It was during when the pandemic started. That's the lockdown started. That was when I would say by God's provision, I started connecting to a lot of people. I started networking, and that was actually when I realized that design is deep. You understand? I actually realized that this thing I'm actually seemingly ashamed of. I was so ashamed of design that I went to a tech school, and instead of me to pick up a design, like a physical tech school, instead of me to pick up a physical design course, I went to start learning data science. And I was terrible at it. I was really, really terrible at it. Really. I started learning data science and my head wanted to blow, really. And there was because I just felt design was just this thing for people that just wanted to play, really. But it was during that period of the lockdown that I would say I just started connecting and networking with a lot of persons, following a lot of persons on Instagram, meeting some persons personally, some old friends that were really deep into design. That wasn't actually realized that this thing called design can actually sponsor my dreams. You understand? I believe one of the reasons why Adejumo created this community is for everyone to actually understand that design is not child's play.
Yeah.
You
It's
understand?
not.
You're part and parcel of the tech community, not just the tech community, but the economy as a whole. You understand? You make businesses work. Yeah, as a
Yeah.
designer, you're beyond um, the Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop guy. You make businesses work. You make businesses work. You're not a 2K person. You're not doing this for fun. You shouldn't do this for fun. This can sponsor your dreams. I wouldn't say I'm speaking out of experience, but the level of growth I experience personally, like if tomorrow I go, if tomorrow I organize a physical seminar and start giving motivational speech that I started from 0 naira, sincerely speaking, you see this phone here? This is my okay. I have a laptop. Don't be aged. I do AI, Photoshop, and by God's grace, I already started UI UX design now, and it's even a project on ground. You understand? And if I organize a seminar and start giving motivational talks, saying I started from zero, then I'm not lying, really. So when I saw that growth, that level of growth, um, last year, both skill wise and let me use the word money wise, you understand? I actually realized that okay, this is actually something really, really, really serious. You understand?
Yeah.
But um it didn't happen. It didn't happen because it I started seeing those results when I started taking it seriously. I started seeing those results when I decided to put laser focus on this thing. You understand? While I was in
Yeah.
school, I wasn't a bad student. You understand? I was just that very good student, second class upper kind of student. You understand? I never saw myself doing this, but this was my passion. Like this is my passion. And a very good thing about this generation, the generation Z, this generation we are right now, is the fact that your passion can actually be monetized
Yeah.
and monetized good. Your passion, anything at all you are doing, can be monetized. And we're actually talking about the tech industry. I see design as the art of the tech industry. You understand? I see design as the art of the tech industry. So I'll just go straight to I'll just go straight to sharing my screen again. I hope it doesn't matter.
No, you should be fine.
See my screen?
Not yet.
Can you see my screen?
Not yet. Okay, it's loading. Um,
How
Loading,
about now?
loading, loading.
it's loading. It's still loading.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we can see your screen now.
All right, all right. So Rema says hello. So I believe I've been able to do a very good and quick introduction. So this guy you see here is a brand designer, a content designer, a UI UX designer, a motion graphics designer. Basically, I hope to add more to that, but I feel like that four is okay. And um, my skill sets are running on computer, Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop,
Please,
Adobe XD,
okay, continue. Sorry.
Adobe XD, then phone, PixArt, Pixel Lab, Canva, and InDesign. Yeah, Infinite Design. So yeah, and well, I'm pretty okay with my stuff. Like Zineji said, Adijun said
Yeah,
I'm good. I don't know.
no, you're not okay, bro. Yeah, this is your stuff is next level stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I'm the founder of Brandboxx. Sorry, the co-founder of Brandboxx. We just started this year. I believe my organ should be somewhere around. I think it should be in this year. When I mean my organ, like is a big guy. But then we decided to start Brandboxx together, and thus far it's been wonderful. We started in January, and we're a digital design and creative agency
Yeah.
basically, and I would explain that if we have. I will explain more on that if we have time after I'm done. So the 360 designer, branding, selling, brand strategy, branding, selling, brand strategy. So I'll just go straight to the point. The 360-degree designer. It's synonymous to saying the complete designer. You understand? The designer that is not ignorant about what he should know about.
Yeah.
Understand? The 360 designer is a designer that knows, a designer that is knowledgeable about his craft, that is not just knowledgeable of how to use tools on AI or Photoshop or phone or anything, but is actually knowledgeable about the art and the business of design. You understand? That is the 360 designer, the complete designer. That is what we are looking at achieving with creative cohort. You understand? That 360 complete designer. You understand? And so just quickly, I'll just start and give a quick overview of what branding is. Okay, first and foremost, I feel it's important to say it, even though I know most of us already know, a logo is not a brand.
Yeah.
You understand? If you don't know that, you should know that now. You understand? Not when you want to go and meet a client, you be telling a client, let me brand you, understand? It's not like it's wrong, but then you should understand the meaning of what branding is. You understand? So to understand what branding is, you have to understand what a brand actually is. A particular author described a brand as a person's gut feeling about a product, service, or organization. That is, a brand is abstract. You can't touch or see a brand, actually. Brands are felt. You get me? Brands are felt. That is, it's not, like I said, it's not something you can touch or feel or see. Sorry, it's not something you can touch or see, but it's actually something you can feel. You understand? That is what a brand is. A brand has to do with the perceived value of a thing, in this case, of a business, of a firm, the perceived value of a business or of a firm in the eyes of their target market. You understand? That is what a brand is. That is what a brand is. So if a client comes to meet you and tells you to brand my business for for me, what is actually to do is to handle the brand identity of your business, of his business. You understand? I'll just show something else. This quick pictogram here. You can see, as you can see, this is an iceberg, and an iceberg in an ocean. You understand? And as you can see, if you look at the top, the visible part, you'd see logo, and then a whole lot of things beneath it.
Yeah.
I don't know if can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. You're doing fine. We can hear you.
You can see logo and a whole lot of things
Beneath.
beneath it. You understand? So when a client meets you and said, please, I want you to rebrand my business or stuff like this, what is actually telling you to do is to handle the brand identity of my business. And one of those things is logo. So if you actually look at the pictogram very well, you're seeing a logo, and then what people are actually seeing, the aim is for people to see the logo and then feel this whole thing beneath. You understand? The logo is meant to, in quotes, exude a certain value, targeted value, that will give them a hint of what the brand is about. That will give them a hint of what the brand is about. You understand? So you as a designer, you should have proper knowledge of what branding is about. That is when
still alive.
This audio. Let me. Sorry.
Okay, that is why when someone meets you and tells you to brand his business, or somebody just comes to meet you and say, I want a logo, you should not just go about and tell the person price or stuff like that. You should start by explaining to the person, asking questions. You understand? Asking these questions. What's your business model? What's your business strategy? If they don't have, you give to them. You understand? You understand? So you need to be knowledgeable about these things. You need to understand what branding really is. You understand? So that when you're now drafting a brand identity, see, brand identity doesn't have to do with you do logo and then you give the person and the logo is fine or doing something fine. No, what works with design is beyond beauty. Everything called design must be functional. You understand? That means it must solve the problem. You get me? That is why these days designers are advised to be as simple and minimal as possible. To be as simple and minimal as possible. let me just put it out there. You don't need to be an artist to be a designer, really. It's as simple as understanding the principles, learning the tools, and then putting it into action, putting it into effect. And then that's actually how you can actually be a very, very good designer. You understand? So it's beyond, design is beyond, let it be fine, let it be this. It's about it being functional. You understand? Functional. So if someone meets you, I want the logo, branding, this, don't just go about, let me just do the logo for you. Then these days, everybody will just pack the whole mock-up in the world and just push it out there. But at the same time, it might look beautiful, but then it's not solving the problem. It might look beautiful, but then it's not functional. You understand? So when it comes to, so as a designer, you're not just a graphic designer, you're a brand designer. I will still go to what being a brand strategist actually means. But you're a brand designer, meaning everything that has to do with the identity of the brand is in your hands. When somebody say, come and brand me, you're actually telling the person that everything that has to do with the media outlook of the brand, you are actually telling me to undo that. When it comes to the color guide, so many designers don't know what color guide is. You understand? Someone needs you to do a flyer for the person and you just carry blue and you just carry blue color and put it everywhere when the color of the brand is red. You understand? There's something called color brand language. There's something called a whole lot of things. You understand? So it's not just knowing how to use AI and Photoshop. You should know these things. So I'm rushing, so I'll just move straight to selling. Are you with me? What did you want?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, I'll just move straight to selling. You understand? As a designer, selling as a designer. Now, this is where so many designers fail. You understand? This is why I feel personally so many designers are not really getting it. You understand? Some people think it's when you say come and do logo for 2K or 1.5 that will make people run to you. The thing is, it doesn't make sense. I'm very sorry if you're guilty of this and you're hearing me. In as much as I believe in growth, I believe in gradual growth of things. But there are some certain persons that when I see how much they charge and the very fact that they charge these things to, in quotes, chase crowd or to make people run, the truth is you won't actually get the results. Now think of this, if you do a logo for 2K and do it for 10 persons, that's 20K. And trust me, whatever you're doing is not worth it. Just, if it is, somebody said something, I think it was Salem King on Instagram. He said, when you remember the amount of money you spent in courses and
Yeah.
learning, and when you want to charge with your full chest, you understand?
Yeah.
So many clients meet me and they're like, I tell them, like, they ask me, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I give them my charge, and they're like, it's too expensive, is this. I tell them, see, no, I'll give you somebody's number that I'll do it for you 2,000 naira. But then, because of the way I've been able to build my brand, remember what brand is a perceived value. You understand? Because of the way I've been able to build my brand, there's just this perceived value that this guy is not cheap.
Yeah.
You understand? There's just this. I've been able to communicate the essence of the fact that I'm not cheap. And there are ways these things can be done. You understand? The first one is, as you can see on the screen, there is personal branding. Understand? Okay, let me just put this out there. There are so many of us that are answering CEO, Chief Executive Officer, and we are only the officer of the other officers. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
So there's so many of us that are answering CEO. You just want to start designing before maybe your name is Ayo, you start Ayo Graphics. In short, you even do a virtual business card and put CEO there. That's not really what will get people per se, in quotes. Understand? Sorry, 1 second. So it's not about doing really, I won't even advise anybody to do that, really. You understand? Like you being a single designer and wanting to form an agency, it doesn't make sense. It will pay you better if you're a freelancer and then you work on your personal branding. You understand? You work on your personal branding. You understand? So I personally did this mistake. I know I started with Rema Graphics, our factory, but it got to a point I just decided to flow on a personal basis. You understand? And it actually paid better. It's just now that I started Brandboxx with my Oga Kenneth Kenneth Mark that I've been able to see that okay, this is how to actually run an agency. And by God's grace, we actually have people under us that are working with us. I wouldn't say for us, you understand, because it's a team kind of thing. You get as a designer, you have to work on your personal branding. How do people perceive you? You understand? I just want to put this out there also in conjunction with content strategy and all. How do people perceive you on your WhatsApp? You get your WhatsApp status as a designer shouldn't be an inshallah. Everything you're putting out there should communicate the essence of who you are. Should communicate the essence of what you do. I'm not trying to say you should put design all through, something like that. But by viewing your status and by people communicating with you, they should know it is design you do and you do it well. You understand? There's this guy I met of recent. It might even be in this webinar. Eridia. Um, Adejimo,
Yeah.
you were the one I got his number from, right?
Sorry, I didn't hear the name of the person.
Hello, Zineji, are you me?
I can hear you. I didn't hear the name of the person. I didn't hear the name of the person.
Heredia.
Okay, yeah. Erioluwa, yeah.
Like, yeah. Okay, if he's here, I really respect him because of the way he makes he makes noise about his brand
Brand.
everywhere. Instagram, yes, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. You cannot go through this guy's status in a day and not know this guy is a designer, and not just know that he's a designer, but to know that he's a serious designer. You understand? Even though me personally, I don't like his style. You understand? But then it's his style and it's working for him.
Working for
It's
him.
it's putting out the noise. He's putting out content every single day, useful content on Instagram and the rest. And it's actually paying off for him. You understand? I'm even yet to get into a conversation with him, but by his personal branding alone, I'm able to understand who this person is, and because of the way he has structured himself, because of the way he has structured himself, I know that this guy is a serious guy that is not charging 2K.
Yeah.
He gets me. I know this guy is a serious guy. He gets and stuff. So you mustn't. So this thing said, let me even just say this. One of the things that really spurred me last year to really let me say work on my pricing, that is how I charge for my designs, was when I asked one of my students, he met me for guidance. When I mean students, because I don't teach AI and Photoshop. I don't believe I'm good enough to teach it. Another advice is don't rush to teach. You understand? Before I started teaching phone design, I made sure I was really good. You understand? So he met me and was like, so when I asked him, how much did you collect for this logo? And he told me 50K. I was like, eh? I was like, because at that point, at that time, I wasn't charging that much. I was like, are you serious? But one thing I actually learned from this student of mine was his content strategy. You understand? And sorry, I'm stressing on WhatsApp, but WhatsApp is just where people know you. It's where people feel you. WhatsApp is there's a reason why Mark Zuckerberg is thinking of adding I don't know if you heard that, putting ads and stuff on WhatsApp. There's a reason why he's doing that, because these days WhatsApp actually sells more than Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
You understand? That's why people are actually aiming at increasing their WhatsApp contact list every day. You understand? Me personally, I do that every month. I meet random people and say, "Hi, this is me. Add me to your group." You understand, and stuff like that, so that my viewership list can increase. Yeah, so I actually learned from that, from his content strategy. See, there's something with content strategy. Content strategy helps you sell without necessarily selling. You understand? That is the most lethal form of selling. Selling without really selling. You understand? When you're dishing out the right content, don't just type. Make designs. Dish out the right content. Let people actually see that, oh, this guy actually knows his onions. Just like that, you're actually selling something to people without really selling. When they need a logo or when they need branding, when they come to you, they have in mind that this guy cannot collect 2K. See, when it comes to these things, people are not really driven by price. That is one thing you should understand.
Yeah.
I've met people that um, I've actually had encounters with folks that when I pitch to them and tell them, okay, this is how much that I'm going to do this for you. Then after bargaining and the rest, some of them actually stay and save. Some of them actually stay and save for it. You understand? Because they actually understand the fact that this guy will give me value. You understand? So you, as a designer, you have to be very, very, very intentional about your content strategy. Very, very, very intentional about what you put out there on WhatsApp, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and the rest. Your personality is not everything you put out there. I'm very sorry to say so. There are personally some designers that when I see some things they put out, I'm like, it's like I don't think you're really, 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 really serious with what you are doing. You understand? People would always be like, have fun, share memes. It's not the own memes you will share. Well, I'm sorry, I might be sounding a little bit strict, but
No,
it's not
it
every meme you
is.
will share. Yeah, every meme you will share. Because if you send a message of the fact that you are a vibes and inshallah person, you'll be treated likewise. That's just the truth. You will be treated likewise. So it's not everything you would, if everybody is sharing silhouette challenge on their statuses, don't share. You can watch it personally, but don't just put it on your status. You understand? Because you never know who is watching. Don't put it on your Facebook page. You have to be every single, even when you're snapping your picture, your personal picture, it should be a form of content strategy. Because it's beyond people knowing that they're a designer. People want to have a feel of the kind of person you are. People want to have a feel of the kind of person you are. Are you the kind of person I can give 50K to do something for me and it will not run away? You get? So these are the things that you have to actually put into these are part of the things that has to do with selling as a designer. Another one is storytelling. When you do projects, you tell stories. You don't just post them, you tell stories. I learned this from a mentor of mine, Sage, sometime last year. You tell stories. When you post a project, you tell stories, how the whole thing came about, your interactions with the client, and the end result. You understand? And the end result. Next one is pitching, and I'll just take pitching and pricing together. Now, I don't advise as designers that you should have a static rate card in quotes. I don't really advise it. I believe rate cards, your rates should be subjective to the client. You understand? Now, I wish this could be interactive, but I want to do it. Engage the client in a conversation. You understand? Talk for like 15 minutes. I don't mean you should ask the client if he's married, but within the context of what he asked for. When he says, I want a logo, you'll be like, for what? What business? This. If you have anything, you could just put, you just need to be skilled in communicating. Use good English too. Don't use AM when you're supposed to use IM. You understand? You're not Elon Musk. You are allowed to use you're allowed to use if you are Elon Musk. Nobody cares because you have money. But then you should be professional to that very detail. You understand? People should feel that sense of professionalism. You understand? Sometimes use some certain vocabs that they will not understand. All these things are part of pitching. You understand? So when you've engaged in a conversation with the person for some time, then you start talking about price. In short, you even tell the person what you will do for the person before you now start talking about price. And trust me, once you just mention your price at that point when both of you have already gotten to a certain level of familiarity, it will be very difficult for the person to draw back. It will be very difficult for the person to draw back. And trust me, this always works. Like recently, I got a branding contract, and he tried many designers at the same time. You understand? He's a big guy in the crypto space. He tried contacting many designers at the same time. So one of the reasons why he chose me wasn't because I was good or I know how to design, was the very fact that he was impressed at how I sold to him. He was actually impressed at how I was able to pitch and sell to him. And for him, the money wasn't the problem. You understand? In short, I didn't even give him any amount before he decided to work with me. You understand? So it goes very personal. Don't just fix a rate and say, I do this, I do logo for 5K. I do no. It's how you interact with somebody. When after you now tell the person 10K, you now start regretting it. Because the person could have actually paid more.
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. The person would have actually paid more. So I personally don't believe in having a permanent rate that this is how much yes, you should have a minimum actually. It's advisable you have a minimum level. You understand? But depending on how you communicate, communicate with the person, then from your communication, you're able to, understand somehow, sense if this person won't pay. And another thing you need to understand is not everybody is your customer. Let me use that word. You understand? There are some people you don't waste time on. There are some projects you don't just give time to. You understand? Let me also put this out there. Let me also put this out there in passing. Don't substitute being busy for your growth. Don't substitute being busy for your growth. You shouldn't accept every job actually. You understand? If you know that job that will keep you busy unnecessarily and it's not really worth it, drop it. Use that time to learn more. Use that time to develop your value. You understand? Because it's not just about telling somebody, I want to charge you, pay 50K, pay 100K for this, pay 150K for this, pay 20K for this. Is the amount they are paying, hope it is actually commensurate to the value you are giving. You understand? There's a difference. There should be a difference between when someone does a logo or does a branding for 30K with when somebody does it for 5,000 naira. I strongly believe the person that is doing it for 5,000 naira does not know what the person doing it for 30K knows.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's that about that with selling. You should have a knowledge of copywriting too. You understand? You should know these things. Don't just. I believe each and every one of us should have an invoice. I don't know. Just be very, 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 very professional. Professional with your output. And trust me, once you're doing that, you're actually selling. You are selling your brand and you're selling your value. And once people perceive that value, they'll be ready to pay anything, regardless of the level the particular client is. Once they are sure that they are actually going to derive value from what you're giving, they'll be ready to pay. So just lastly, brand strategy. Brand strategy. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm supposed to use the word brand. So as a designer, you're supposed to understand what brand strategy is. In short, as a designer, there's no better person in an organization that should be a brand strategist other than a designer. Now, brand strategy doesn't necessarily have to do with anything that has to do with design directly. You understand? But brand strategy is looking at the whole business model and the best way. Brand strategy is looking at representing the whole business model in the best way possible. Understand? And I mentioned 4 things here: content development, marketing strategy, brand value, business development. You as a designer, you should understand a bit of what business development is about. Um, let me just say this. Recently, I and my partner had a meeting with with a prospective client that I'll be working with soon. And one of the things that one of the reasons why I really loved that meeting we had was the way my partner sold to this woman. Like it was, she didn't really know what to do. Hello, can you hear me? Because
We can hear you.
she had an idea, but
I will too.
she didn't really have a structure to this idea. But at the end of the meeting, we were able to give our business a structure. Remember, I told you beyond AI and Photoshop. At the end of the meeting with her, we were able to give her business a structure. We were able, just in the space of 2 hours, we were able to draft out a concrete business model and actually relate it to what we want to do for her, because she's planning on building an app and stuff like that. So we actually form of business development, stretched out our marketing strategy and everything for her just that moment. That is the job of a brand strategist. And as a designer, you should have that knowledge. 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 Okay, let me look at my time.
They still have time. We still have time. We still have about 6 minutes.
Okay. So basically, that's it. That's it. Like I would say, design is not designer. You should be well read. Actually, you should be well read. If you're a designer and you're not following people like Seth Godin, I don't know. Adejuwon, you can help me put it up on the chat box. Seth
Yeah,
Godin,
set
Chris
good.
Do,
Salem
yeah,
King.
Chris Do, yeah, Salem King, Chris Do. Who else again?
There's a particular person I'm also following. I started following recently. If I get the name, maybe I'll send it later, but I can't remember exactly.
There's also this lady, Bolanle Bawo. Bolanle Bawo. It's like Antola Alabi is like is a general father for designer. If you don't know these people, then maybe that's one of the reasons why you've been missing out. Maybe that's one of the reasons why, because the truth is, no profession of field is crowded. Don't think, see, you're only in competition with, in quotes, with the level. You're only in competition with the level you keep yourself with. You understand? I can't, like today, I can't see a flyer online calling people to do full branding for 5 and be moved. It doesn't even move me. Instead, what I'm seeing is, wow, this person doesn't actually know what he's actually using. You understand?
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, that is what the 360 designer is. You should know a lot. You should know a lot. YouTube should be your friend. YouTube, like I said, I started with my phone. I know many people that are good with the phone design thing, but that are not even so good, but are selling really, 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 really well. It's not about your tools. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Understand some things, you still thinking this is just one something kind of something. This is just, to move. But it's that design can sponsor your dreams. I'm saying this to everybody in creative cohort. Design can sponsor your dreams. Design can give you Ferrari. You understand? I remember following the testimony of Leye Ogunsoya. Leye Ogunsoya is a designer I met in. My life has not remained the same. Leye Ogunsoya charges close to $5,000 for his design. Now, but it took consistency. You understand? It took consistency. He never substituted being like. Let me say it again. Never substitute being busy to growth. I know how many jobs have declined this period, not because they weren't necessarily paying well, but because of the fact that this period is a period I set out to learn. And it's not because I have the whole money in the world at the same time. But then much more, I'm looking at the long run here. And one more thing, take away pressure, take out pressure. There is more than enough, there is more than enough um space to succeed in this field. I don't even know why I'm even talking like this, like I've succeeded. I like telling people something. That my story is not that of success, but that of real progress. You understand? I can't necessarily boast of success. What am I saying? I don't own a house in Banana Island or a car. But then it's one of immense progress, a progress that should be admired, a progress that should be admired. So at least I for one know that I'm comfortable. I know that I now know that this is what I want to do with my life. I want to be a designer in all this sort. I want to help businesses with design. I want to be a brand
Yeah.
strategist. I want to tell brand stories. You understand? And this particular path I've chosen will sponsor everything I've ever dreamed to have as a human being. So if you've ever been in that crossroad of can design really do what I dream to be or stuff like that, yes it can. Yes it can. You just need to give it your heart and your consistency. Okay, thank you very much. I think I'm done.
Thank you very much for the session. Thank you very much. I think we should entertain questions now. So if you have any question, please just drop it. Just drop it in this in the. I think I've tried to like answer some. People, some people asked for your links. I think I've tried to answer some. If you have any question, please just drop in now.
Can you see my face?
No, you're still sharing your screen. Okay, I can see your face.
Okay.
Okay, somebody is saying, how does a designer build an amazing portfolio?
So how does a designer build an amazing portfolio? Well, it depends on your, I don't know, your ramification of what a portfolio is, but I would advise that you don't, I will tell you the mediums you shouldn't use. And one of them is Instagram. You understand? I believe your portfolio should either be a website, a simple landing page, or a PDF file that you would update regularly. You understand? Well, a logo being amazing and stuff. Well, I don't know how to put it, but you should a good portfolio should merge a curriculum, a resume should merge the components of a resume and a portfolio. I don't know if you understand. So when you're building your portfolio, you should have a section. The introductory section should, you know, introduce you as a person, your your education, your skill set, and the rest before you start showing your designs and the rest. And when you're putting your designs out, a good portfolio is not the one of 50 pages. Pick your best designs, post them there, and tell stories with those designs. You understand? You can actually see this from if you are very active on Behance or Dribble. Every
Yeah,
designer should be on Behance and Dribble. You understand?
yeah.
You
You
can
just
just
said that
type
as well.
design portfolio and you see a lot of portfolios you can actually use as a template. You can actually use as a template.
Okay.
So portfolio also has its importance. So I believe I've been able to answer that question.
Yeah. Somebody also said, if I'm a designer that still designs for 2K and I am now sensitized on branding, do I shake off the former customers who still pay 2K?
Sorry, can you bring the question again?
Okay. He said, if I'm a designer that still designs for 2,000 naira and I'm now sensitized on branding, do I shake off the former customers who still pay 2,000 naira?
No, you don't have to. There are some persons that till today, actually, let me just put it out, till today,
Mm-hmm.
I just do designs for them and they pay 2K and I don't mind. The reason is because they were there from the beginning.
Yeah.
You understand? They were there from the beginning. So the reason why you are doing that is because based on customer relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And those people, and the truth is this, they've been able to refer me to people that have paid 20 times more. You
Yeah.
understand? So if you've been able to scale up, if you've been able to scale up, you shouldn't, in quotes, say, no, I've passed this level or stuff like that. If you have a chance to actually pay, I'll use the word pay homage to them, regardless of the amount they give you. Don't even talk about price because you know these ones were the ones that were giving you your 1.5 and your 2K and stuff. I think you should stick to it. You understand? You don't just discard or stuff like that. But it
Customers.
depends on your relationship with the person. It depends on your relationship. Like so many of them that I have this relationship with, that any amount they give me, I don't care. I'm just doing this because we've been able to build a rapport over time. And so my growth shouldn't affect, you know, my relationship
With the
with how I
customers.
relate to them business wise. You understand? So I believe I've
Yeah,
been able
you.
to answer that.
Yeah. So another question. Sorry. How do you manage a team lead at your office that knows about design software, but not in depth and complains every time about your designs? Should I come again?
Come again.
Okay. So like, how do you manage a team lead at the office that knows about design softwares, but not in depth and complains every time about your designs?
Okay. Sincerely, I wouldn't say I'm the right person to answer that question because I've not formally worked in an organization as their graphic designer. The organizations I work with are on freelance levels, and
Okay.
they just tell me manage our content, do this social media marketing, do that, and nobody really complains. So I don't really know, but I think I don't know. Some people can just be what they are. You understand? You get. I would have told you to be sarcastic and tell him and just leave the computer for him one day and say, "Oh, yeah, come and design. Let me be working." You understand?
Yeah.
But what people really respect is when you listen to them. So when they make their corrections and when the person talks, all you just need to do is to listen. You might end up doing your own thing, but for that moment,
Listen to
listen.
them.
Just give them listening ears and you know do your thing. You're the professional, and at the same time, you should also communicate a sense of the fact that you know what you're doing, that you are good at what you're doing. You understand? Sometimes that also has to do with personal branding. Even in an office space, you should communicate that I own this thing. You understand? You're not. I'm not doing guesswork here. I know what I'm doing. This is my thing. You get so. That's basically it.
But maybe I should just say a few things about that as well. Personally, as well,
Okay.
I've not really experienced a team lead that has given me that kind of stress too. But then I'll just say it from a freelancing. I don't know if that statement is correct. From a freelancing perspective, the way I handle, I think I'll just say the way I handle criticism, because there are days you meet clients that that is your meet client that they'll have a different idea or a different angle to whatever you want to do or want to give them, and it starts with branding as well actually, or sometimes maybe flyer designs and some other things. So they might have a different perspective on, or maybe probably they have a kind of a something, they an idea they're trying to maybe pass out, that kind of thing. So sometimes the way I just undo it is maybe after I've given them, after I understand the client and I feel okay, this is what I feel should be able to should work for your brand or for your business. Then maybe they have a different idea, and I feel this thing, if I do this for them, I won't be proud of this work, or probably I won't be able to say, okay, maybe I did this kind of design, or maybe it will be bad for the kind of brand self. So I can just maybe sit them down, make them understand, make them see why this design will not work for them, give them reasons, let them understand it, give them like it's not as if you just tell them, oh, this thing cannot work or something like that. You just have to like maybe lay out a reasons for them, And if they still feel okay, maybe we still need to go back to the previous design, then fine, it is on them. I think, but at least I've done my own professional diligence by telling them the things I think should be able to work for the brand. I don't know if that works or if that's right.
Yeah, I think that's. I think you've answered that. Any
Okay.
more questions?
We have about 2 minutes left on this call, but let me just quickly run through this question. How do a designer position his or herself to get right customers? I think you said something about that initially during when you were talking about brand strategy.
Yeah, yeah. When I was specifically talking about personal branding,
Mhm.
and I think because of time, I think the person would have to get the video again
No, no problem.
and watch.
No, but
Yes,
let me go to the next question. She has been okay. She has been doing design. Okay, I think this is from the same person that asked about the same lead question. She has been doing designs temporarily for the company. So when I joined the company, I realized she complains about my designs. But I think this is. I don't think it's about the designs. I don't know how your designs are, but I don't think this is that question. That what's it called? Criticism is about the design. But let's quickly go to the next one. Concerning pitching and pricing, what should be the standard price for a logo design and a flyer or poster design?
right.
The
There's
standard
actually no
price.
standard. There is no standard price. I know people that do flyer for 15K. I know people that do flyer for get logo depends. Like me person, like brand, like
Oh, the
less
this
like a
one.
level because of our understanding of branding. We've actually broken it down in parts the person wants. And sure, to price, bro. Let me use that word. You understand? You should when you're pricing, remember you have bills to pay, and most of all, give value.
Mm-hmm.
Make clients that convert. You understand? So when you are pitching to the person, you are telling the person that when people see what it's actually meant for. Get me? So there is no standard price actually. People collect 500, 200, 100 naira.
For designs.
Some people collect 100. You
Okay.
understand? Branding and how people perceive your brand, perceive the value that you can give. You get so that at all. You see, what you should understand that is the intersection between art and technology. You understand? So there's something with art. Art doesn't have when I mean art, I mean ART doesn't necessarily have a fixed price. You understand? That is why arts are when someone makes a painting, it's being auctioned. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? Because it, it's it's designated as an intellectual property, and so no amount of money should be necessarily tagged to it in quote. Depends on the value you place on your brand, the value you actually place on your designs, and the value that you know that you're actually giving. You understand? So you put all these things in place and then charge seriously. Because if you keep doing the 1K things, you will be discouraged at the point.
Yeah,
You will be
eventually.
discouraged at the point. The amount I charge for motion graphics, but it's my phone I use, even though it's not really easy. You understand? When people say they'll be like it was a template thing. But the amount I make sure I charge cool, like very, 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 very well. Because I know it's stressing.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? When I calculate the stress, I know if I'm giving it 6 hours, my 6 hours cannot be 5K.
Yeah.
Come on, my 6 hours cannot be 5K. Time is money here. My 6 hours cannot be 10K. My 1 week cannot be 10K. My 1 week cannot be 5K. You understand? So it all depends on the level of value you place on your brand or on yourself. You get.
Yeah.
So how many minutes do we have left?
I think we are past normal 1 hour, but just to say some things about what you just said now. I think So you have to do something about these other questions because I feel these questions they're not stopping. They're coming in. But just to say some things about what you just said now about pricing and everything. There's a particular post I saw. Okay, this is another designer. I think I won't call him a designer, sha, but this is another person I think you should follow on Instagram. Go and search for more Janda. More Janda. Let me just write the name. More Janda. You will learn a lot of things from his page about designers and everything, how you should charge, price and everything. One of the things he did in his calculation, well maybe because this is world standard anyways, like a normal brand or business standard. But one of the things he did in his calculation, in his pricing calculation, how he charges his clients and everything, was he calculated how much he will be spending per hour. He bills his clients per hour. So he was like, okay, how much will I charge from coming from his office? Like everything is like he calculates as if it's a business. Like he gets paid coming to work per day. You understand? So he actually calculated everything depending on starting from his work, then to starting from coming to work, transportation to how much his rent is, light and everything, internet and everything that he uses before he now has his profits. But I think you just check his page out and maybe just go maybe is it down or down till you see the post. It's about pricing. So just find that out. So before I read the next question, I don't know how long we still have to spend. Before I read the next question, I dropped the link already for your certificate. So if you're yet to get your certificate, just click on the link and fill the form. Then your certificate will be dropped in your email automatically.
Let me just say something. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
And one other thing too is, as designers, there's something we do that is not really nice, and that's the fact that when we go to onblast.com or envato.com and we want to download resources, once we just see money attached to it, we run away. You
Yeah.
have to learn. You get, you have to that mentality. You have to start spending money. That's the truth, actually. You have to start spending money, buy courses. There's something this thing does you like. I will never forget that Salem Kings post. When you just remember the amount, like I can't tell you how much I've spent this past January alone learning and buying courses and the rest. When somebody now come and meet me and tell me do it for 10K now, it's just God's thing that will make me want to continue the conversation. You understand? So one of the things is as you're just like especially resources, design resources, spend money, pay for mock-ups, do these things. It's going to make you understand that true, this thing is not a 2K something. You understand? You should be able to account for the cost of every project. You should be able to account for the cost of every project. You understand? Even the amount of data you use. There are apps that calculate these things. You get. So I don't know how much time we have left.
I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know. I was expecting them to cut the listen short immediately by themselves like, automatically, but still, I don't know why it's still going. But we have. Should we still continue with the questions, or we should? I don't know. I don't know how I don't know how busy you are currently. Should we still continue with the questions, or we should just end here? So, what are you listening? Sorry.
One more question, maybe one more question, then
Okay, let me
we
just
call
quickly
it.
let me just quickly run through. But who wants to do? Let's see. Um, Okay, a question from Melody. I'm a front end dev transitioning to design. I work a 9 to 5 job and I find it hard to balance my work and self improvement. How do I best tackle this? Also, I'm building a digital design agency with a team of 5 designers, stroke developers. What's one advice you can give me as one just starting out? Should I come again?
Okay. Yeah, calling you.
Okay, sorry. I'm a front end dev transitioning to design. I work a 9 to 5 job and I find it hard to balance my work and self improvement. How should I best tackle this? Also, I'm building a digital design agency, a team of 5 designers, stroke developers. What's one advice you can give me as one just starting out? Then that's just 2 questions in one. Balancing my work and self improvement, and then advice you can give me for just starting as one just starting out.
Right. So what you need to do, even as you are trying to transition to design, one of the things you need to do is to harness the power of consistency.
Okay.
5 minutes is small, but 5 minutes in 30 days is progress.
Yeah.
You get me? 5 minutes is small. Because if you are someone working 9 to 5 in Lagos, is 9 to 5 in Lagos is not really 9 to 5. 9 to 5 in Lagos is 6 to 8 or
Yeah.
6 to 9 because of how hectic it is.
The journey.
But
Yeah.
if you can dedicate 1 hour, 30 minutes, even 30 minutes every day, you also calculate the days where you slept off. Calculate the days where you slept off, the days where you did not learn anything. Trust me, something is actually happening. So you just don't need to be discouraged. You just need to harness the power of consistency and just stay consistent. It's forming something really, really, really large. You understand? Because I wouldn't say you should end your 9 to 5, but you should remove that pressure of the fact that there is no time.
Yeah.
Well, there is time as long as you're using it well and you're using it in a disciplined manner. You understand? So if your 9 to 5 will take all your day, maybe when you come back, 30 minutes, 1 hour, just give it. Once you do it 1 week, the power consistency is powerful, trust me. Once you do it 1 week, you'll be surprised at the progress that you made. And then
Yeah.
building an agency, there's really nothing with it. I think you just need to um I would say I am a bit new with that, but of course, me and my friend just started Brandboxx recently in January. But then I would say we started really strong. And one of the things we did not do is to rush. You understand? One of the things we did not do is to rush. We used like close to 3 months to strategize.
Mm.
And in just how many, we officially started this month and we have a lot of works already on our table. And that's because of the fact that we did not put pressure on ourselves. You understand? Let's
You
just
took
push
your
it out
time.
there. Actually, I was telling him, let us just push it out there. Let us just push it out there. But he is a very, very strategic person. Trust me. Kenneth is a very strategic person. You can follow him on Instagram, Kenneth
Okay.
Mark, and also follow Brandboxx on Instagram too.
I dropped your link
Kenneth Mark
already.
is okay. Thank you very, very much. Kenneth Mark is a very, very strategic person, and he emphasized more on planning and everything. And just like that, we have people creating the content. We are building a team of designers. Slow, not really work. So it works for people. Just I'll say is don't just put yourself under so much pressure. You understand? Just it's a very, very hot soup. So you have to really, 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 really be deliberate and not want to rush into anything. You understand? Being a freelancer is different from running an agency. It's really, 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 really different. You understand? I personally admire Eridia. I don't know if Eridia is here. Just tell him
It's
I'll be
not,
mentioning his name.
no, it's not on this call. It's not on this call.
Just tell him I'll be mentioning his name. You
No
understand?
problem.
You understand? Eridia has been doing this for quite a while.
It was
You
our it
understand? I
was our
think
man
it's
crush for, I think, Monday. It was our man crush for Monday. Creative crush for Monday.
Yeah, and he's actually I believe he's somebody that you could actually really, really learn from too. You
No, of
understand?
course.
So there's no rush.
Yeah.
You understand? There's really, really no rush. Don't just join the bandwagon of there's no time, you need to. No, 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 no. There is time as long as you're consistent.
Yeah.
There is time as long as you're consistent. You understand? And patience is actually is actually much more faster than
Okay.
we think. Yeah. So
Thank you very much for this class. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the time you took out to. I know your schedule
Thank you,
is really
bro.
busy. I know your schedule is really busy, so I really appreciate the time you took out to be able to like explain these things. And I'm sure these people also appreciate it. I'm sure they've been able to get some things. And if I've been jotting since, I think that is one thing you need to know, because I've been learning a lot of things. I've been learning things too. It has been a really great class. So I really appreciate you for coming and explaining these things. Thank you very much. So I think that should this should end the class. So thank you everybody that
Sorry,
joined.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, can I? I've been trying to open the chat stuff, but
Okay.
I'm trying to drop my link.
Okay.
You
It's by the
understand?
side. It's by the side top button. You should find something like looks like a messaging icon. Top right. Top right.
Okay.
Top right.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, I just dropped my WhatsApp link there.
Okay.
I have a gift for everybody that taps on that link and says hello. And for every
Nice.
creative that taps on that
I think I should let me be the
hello.
first to send the message.
Okay. I know it's not money. Understand,
Wow.
but everybody that taps on
Thank-
that link and says hello. And I would really love to connect with all of you.
yeah.
And it's been a wonderful time, trust me. I am very, very honored to be here. Thank you so, so, so much, Adejuwon.
Thank you.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much, Zuni. The energy god himself. Okay.
Thank you very much.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. So from me to you all, it's a good night.
Yeah.
It's a good
Thank you
night. I'll
very
be
much.
leaving.
Good night. You've
All
learned a
right.
lot.
Thank you. Hope you dropped the Brandboxx link too.
I dropped Brandboxx. I dropped R Digital Factory. I can't. I'm not sure I pronounced this thing very well. Let me bring it
It's
back.
actually anyways, but Brandboxx.
I
It's a
dropped.
Brandboxx.
Let me bring it back. Let me bring it back.
Brandboxx. So enjoy.
I'm
Follow us on Instagram. You understand?
bringing it
There's
back
so many.
now. I'm dropping the links again.
Yeah. All right. So thank you very much and have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much. Yeah, bye everyone. I hope to see you in our next webinar. Peace out.